We are going to see briefly right now how you name ionic compounds. Ionic compounds, remember, it's when a metal gets together with a nonmetal, right? And metals are cations because they have a positive charge, and nonmetals are anions because they have a negative charge. So first of all, let's see where each of them is in the periodic table. All of the metals, there's a lot. It's a huge family. It comes all the way over here and through this staircase that we have. And you can see that everywhere that we have metals, they have a positive charge, right? So they are the positive part. On the other hand, we have the nonmetals. The nonmetals are right over here. And nonmetals have a negative charge, and we can see it right here. Another thing that we should mention is that groups A, when we have a positive charge, groups A only work with one charge, and that charge is usually, no, it's not usually, it is the name of the group. So if this is group 2, we have a 2 plus, a 2 plus, a 2 plus. That does not happen with this transition metals. If you see transition metals, some of them have variable charges, like for example, copper. Copper works with a +1 and a +2. Other compounds don't. They only have one charge, like for example, silver, zinc, and they usually just work with one. And that's going to be very important when we're putting together our ionic compound. So let's try one. So we have a metal and a non-metal. So let's choose lithium. Lithium works with a positive charge, a +1 charge. And oxygen works with a 2-. To start with, before we even name them, how do we put them together? We put them together by crossing their charges. So in this case, lithium and oxygen would be Li2O1. The 1, we do not need to put it, so we would have Li2O. And in this case, let's see how we name them. We have lithium, the lithium ion, and we have oxygen. But oxygen, when it becomes an ion, the N part goes to "ide." So we have the name of the element with the termination "ide." So how do we name them? The metal is as is, so lithium, but the non-metal has the termination "ide." So in this case, we have lithium oxide. And this would be an ionic compound. Let's do some more. Let's combine calcium. So we have calcium 2 plus. Calcium is here. It's right here. And then we have another one. Let's choose another one, S2. So we have S2 minus, 2 minus. We cross them. And in this case, we will have Ca2 because of the sulfur, S2 because of the calcium, right? So in this case, we simplify the subscript. So we have over 2, which is our common factor, and we have CaS, right? So we come from calcium, this is sulfur. So the name of it will be calcium sulfide. So in this cases, the two examples that I did had were metals in groups A. I'll choose now a metal that has a variable charge. So let me choose nickel and let me combine it with bromine, right? So we have nickel. What nickel will I choose? So I'll choose the first one. So I choose nickel 2 plus bromine, which is -1. I cross them, and I cross them, right? So in this case, I would have Ni1, Ni1, Br2. So I told you the 1, we do not put it. So Br2. Okay, so now for the name. This is nickel, but nickel works with 2 charges. So we have to specify which one I chose. So in this case, the charge that I chose goes in the Roman numeral. So this is the +2 charge in Roman numeral. Because if I choose the other nickel, it's going to be a completely different formula. So nickel 2, and I have bromine. So it's going to be bromide. With the termination I. What happens if I choose the other one? That's why I need to specify which one I chose. So I have nickel. In this case, it has a charge of +3. I cross them. So I have NiBr3, right? So in this case, the name of this would be nickel 3 bromide. So it is very important when we're naming ionic compounds that we consider if they're working with a variable charge or they're working with just one charge. If they are working with a variable charge, we need to specify it here. So variable charge goes here. If they only work with one, we do not need to specify that charge.